Okay, I guess we're ready to roll. Call the meeting to order. Welcome, everybody. First order of business is to approve the minutes from March 5th. I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay. All right, we got a couple adjustments to the agenda. Harold, you're up first.
Okay, as most of you know, I've emailed you all. I don't know if you got it, Mike.
I did.
So my original price was 11,400. Yeah, I don't have glasses. A lot. So we got it all apart. Figured out we don't need as many parts. So we got it knocked down to $7,570.38 with us doing the work. I did get a quote from Cat. Hey, want to see it?
Yeah, so for everybody to know what this is all about is the motor grader. We were having issues with the brakes on it, or Harold and Philip were. They dug into it a little and found brakes were shot. So on one side they were completely gone, and that's the side they tackled first. All started with they were losing oil from the brake system into the tandem. So anyways, Harold, I told him to tear it apart, which he did. And, he made a list. He contacted Cat to see what it would cost for them to come repair it. And they give us a quote of $31,258 to bring it back to life. So
That's not including transport.
yeah. So then Harold asked if it's something maybe he could do. I mean, I've done it for years, and I said, it's not that complicated, it's just big. So I said, well, dig into it. So basically he got it down to under $9,000, so for the part. So him and Philip really saved us a lot of money by tackling it, and they didn't seem to have any issues because I only got called a couple times. So
it's already done?
No,
It's taken apart.
it's taken apart, and they're,
Basically, I'm asking permission to buy the parts.
Yeah. Got that.
yeah, so I make a motion that we move forward with Harold purchasing the parts and get the grader back together as soon as possible.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Oh, I'd like to take it out of reserve.
Oh, yeah, and it's coming out of reserve, yeah. Yeah, and that is because our reserve was 35,000 for the whole year. I mean, our equipment
30,000.
is 30, oh, I thought we bumped it up to 35.
No, it was 25. we
Yeah,
bumped it up.
okay, and that's just, we got too much of the year left to draw 9,000 out of that, so.
So I think you need to make a motion too for the reserve.
Yeah, okay, so I make a motion to take the money out of the reserve account for $7,570.38 for the parts for the grader repair.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Do that and sign.
all right.
You want me to do my whole highway thing now, or?
Well, I've got Dorothy requested,
So, I'll just wait for,
just wait till,
I'll wait till the next highway.
yeah,
To do the rest of it.
okay, next order, we'll buzz through these up here. Liquor license,
So that's Upper Valley Grill liquor and tobacco license. So this is all done online through a portal. So Bill does his part and then it gets sent to me at the town. So we just need a motion for you to approve it. And then I go into the portal. Once the town gets the fee from Upper Valley Grill, then I go in and approve it
Okay.
that way, but.
All right, I make a motion to approve the liquor license for the Upper Valley Grill.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good,
Thank you.
good. All right, the next order is, got a call from a guy that is interested in helping us out for assessor services. He talked to Carrie, and he wants to come present himself to us. He did send us a resume, basically, his qualifications.
Can you tell me his name again?
Justin Mason.
Justin Mason. And he's put in there a lot of different ways that he would be willing to help us if it's needed. And he's got experience in it. And of course, it would be helping you, Dorothy, going forward, looking down the road in the future. He's a younger, I mean, I say younger, I mean, younger than me, he's
Younger than me.
60
Younger
and,
than me is what you're saying?
no, younger,
Can't say that.
no, I mean, I'm,
But I didn't establish that.
yeah, no, so it's not, we talked about this, that we need to find someone to come in and help, and I understand we're using Nemrick now, but is that amongst us, is that our final?
I wouldn't think that that would be our final. I mean, we should, I mean, it's only smart, in my opinion, to get somebody that kind of knows your job. Because if you do get to the point someday that you want to get done, at least you've got somebody that can kind of step in and it's not, you know, we're not left in the lurch because of it.
Yeah.
So,
It would be a seamless transition.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is no way looking to replace you,
No,
Dorothy.
absolutely
This
not.
is,
that was my first
yeah,
question.
no, this is,
No.
And when-
no,
No.
When I shared this with Barb Schlesinger, that was her first question.
yeah,
Are they looking to replace you and get you out the door?
No.
no.
Because
That's-
it doesn't feel warm and fuzzy, but anyway.
Well, and it, you know, it come up on us, the word had been put out there that we were looking for some help here. I don't know how this particular guy got
The
it.
word's been out for 2.5
Yeah,
Right.
We
Yeah.
finally have someone who's qualified, that
Yeah.
can come in and help. We better grab on with both hands before the next town grabs it.
yeah. So, I personally think it's good to have him come in our next meeting and talk and discuss with us. I mean, we're looking out, I'm not looking out till a year from now. I mean, where are we gonna be in 5 years if we don't have, you know, and for me, being in this a year, it all worked out losing your helper we've fixed that gap, right? You've stepped up to the position. We've got Nemrick involved helping you, but going forward, 2 years, 5 years, we need to have a connection with somebody because Larry Daniels can't be an assessor or doesn't want to be, you know. Larry, so that's what that's all about. That's it didn't even cross my mind about this is replacing you at this
And
point.
there is a little bit of money put into the budget for
Yeah.
an assistant, so.
Yeah.
What did you say?
There is a little bit of money in the budget for an assistant, because we had talked about it before. You had talked to us about having somebody for like 4 hours a week
Right.
to be able to help you as far as like, say, site visits or filing or any of that stuff, whatever you thought was necessary.
Okay, so I have a couple thoughts. At this point, we don't have an assessor position because we've got a one-year contract with NIMRA. And that one-year contract also is gonna kind of be a stepping stone or building blocks towards a reappraisal in 2027. So we don't wanna we don't wanna not have that agreement, which we've already signed for the year.
Right.
Yeah,
I guess one of my concerns was that he called, he talked to the town clerk, and the meeting for the select board was set up without ever saying, hey, what do you think? What do you know, how would this work? I was a little surprised on Monday morning to get an email that says, oh, he's coming to the meeting on April 2nd, having not had any input or a question or anything. That was a concern that I had.
Question, who's hiring the assistant or the assessor? Is it the select board or
The
is it?
select board.
It's the select board. So, and I know I call towns all the time. The first person I call, town clerk. I call any town all over the state, town clerks, and you get those calls all the time. So I think that if the select board's hiring, it's fair that, you know, like,
That's the proper way that it went.
yeah.
yeah, and I don't think, I'm speaking for myself, we want your input on it, Dorothy. I mean.
Okay, so I have input, but we can't talk about this person unless we go into executive session. And so I will get you my input before the next meeting. Looking at the resume and experience and all of that, I have lots of input. So I will share that with you before the next meeting.
You will share that.
That information
Individual, I mean, how,
with you each individually. I'll get
each
it to you.
individually, okay.
Yes, so
Okay.
that you have that before. But my concerns are with the resume and the experience and the whole package. And I know we need somebody, and we need somebody that we can train, but it's gotta be, and I know we're not gonna find the caliber that we had with John Westinghouse, but it's gotta be more than somebody with 2 years' experience. So there's gotta be, if you're looking to have somebody to be trained and to move forward, we want to have a good fit and get somebody that has some experience.
Yeah, as we all do up here, this is, this opened our eyes because we were contacted about
Yeah.
that position.
Have we had other applicants?
No.
No. So we have to.
I'm kind of wondering how or why all of a sudden you called Groton, but.
Dan?
As quickly as we lost John Westinghouse, we can't be put in that same position if something happened to Dorothy and be left flat-footed.
Right.
We need to have somebody in place. We've had this out there for 2.5 years. We've been looking for an assistant, someone to help. We haven't been able to find anybody. We get somebody that's willing to come here and talk about it, and we're gonna disparage them before they're here? That's ridiculous on the face of it.
No,
We haven't really been looking for anybody only since October when John passed away. John and I had filled the
That's
2
not true.
positions.
For the longest time, you've been asking for an assistant. It's been a long time. We need somebody. We're all getting older, the people in our positions. We need
No.
to have somebody ready to step in.
no, you say she's been asking for an assistant.
It's been on the books.
For when John was here too.
Yes.
Yes, because
Yes.
John was part-time,
Right.
You know.
And this guy would be
Right.
part-time.
brought along though,
I mean, I think with the 2027 reappraisal coming up, this is a perfect time for someone to start for Groton.
Absolutely
And
it
then
is.
by the time 27 comes around, we get them for extra time, and that's a lot of work.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah, I think we wouldn't be doing our job if we don't talk to them and at least find out what they're about. I mean, we definitely need to do that and discuss it.
so you can contact him, Carrie, tell him, yeah. All right,
Any references that you want me to even bother yet, or?
Probably wait till we talk to him, at least that's
Yeah,
my
it's-
opinion.
What was
Yeah.
Lisa's comment?
Should she get references now or wait until after we've talked to him if we make a decision? And what I said was we should probably wait until after we've talked to him and see what we want to do, if anything.
Unless you wanna use this 2 weeks to get him. I mean, if he's gonna be here and Dorothy's gonna talk about stuff, of what she's looking for in somebody.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not gonna hurt to have them, because you don't have to make a decision, yes or no, whether you've got them or not, so,
Yeah, it might take some time to
yeah. What do you guys
get people to
think?
respond.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that don't hurt, and, you know, if there's flags and we go, you know, it's
Right.
You never get references that have flags.
not very often in this
You-
day and world. I was taught at Deere not to
Not
say
to give
anything
one.
negative.
No,
Doesn't matter how bad it
Or
was.
you want me to take care of that?
sure.
Yeah, it's just, but an interview you can tell a lot, and we can ask, and,
Mhm.
and we'll definitely listen to your concerns.
Okay. So if you're calling that an interview when he comes, then that'll have to be an executive session.
Yes.
Okay. Is that true?
Well, you can talk with him.
We can talk
You
with
can
him
talk with him.
here, but if we gotta get into the nitty gritty, we
Yeah.
gotta,
He-
right.
He
we
can let everyone know his,
Yeah, he can
get the
talk
gist
about
from
his background and
He can
his,
sell himself or whatever he
Yeah,
wants to
and-
do,
and-
and then you
I mean, we can
decide
ask him how we found out about how we were looking, right? I mean, it's all,
Yeah.
That should be all public knowledge.
yeah, that's all public. We're not hiding that from the folks in town. We're not, I mean, when it gets into the personal deep diving stuff, yes, but
Well,
not necessarily that's gonna be the night we're gonna wanna go into executive session, you know? It's an interview. You know, it's not a job hire. It's an interview, then we can get together and we can talk amongst our, you know, we can have another meeting and talk, and that's how I feel. It's not a set in stone, okay, we're,
the meeting should be between you three select board members on the hiring. That is your position.
yeah, but we want input, or I do. I want it to be, I want it to work. I want us to be able to work together and, but looking down the road.
You can always fire people.
Yeah. well,
Like 'em.
Yeah, okay, all right? Good, all right.
Can I do my report? My assessor report?
Yeah, I don't see, you gotta get out of here, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
It'd be good if I could get out.
Yeah.
So Justin, Jenny from Nimrick was here Monday and Tuesday, and we did, appraisals on, a lot of the building permits. So we've got the bulk of the building permits, new builds, additions, changes to properties. We've got the bulk of those done. I'm still waiting to hear back on a few phone calls from folks. And then I think there may be like another half a day maybe. There may be 4 or 5 more that we've got to do. But at this point, we've got the bulk of those, building permits done. And it was excellent. We went out and he was able, to do like everything right on his tablet, and had worked with Nimrick and Chris at Nimrick, and so everything he was able to do, he was, you know, he did it right as we were going along, so it worked really well. And then the only other thing I had was the final shipment of the maps that we had, got, fixed, came back, yesterday or Monday, I can't remember now, anyway, but they're all back. So I'll be working with, and I've got the invoice from the map company has been sent to NVDA. That came out, I think, like 18,000. And I thought we were thinking 16 or 17, but I think the invoice is for 18 plus shipping, and so I'll work with Lisa and get our invoice sent in, because the grant is up, I think, either May or June. So that project will be done, and it's all back, and they're looking good, so
Good.
that's all I had
So,
for tonight.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions or anything?
No?
Okay, good enough, thank you.
Okay. Okay, there's some question about when they do the drainage down here in the kitchen. The painting of the kitchen floor and,
Okay, so we're gonna dig a trench from the window down the floor, through that wall, down and out
yeah.
for a drain or what have you.
But have you talked to Casey to see if?
Not yet.
He hasn't got
Not
back,
yet.
so, I mean, and,
But I'm just being proactive
Yeah.
because people are renting the kitchen and we need to
Yeah.
get things done. So I inquired, I think I shared with one of you about, talking to Matt Nunn, cause he's the one that painted in here a few years ago, and it's time to repaint, you know, it's wearing off, and I don't think Casey's going to paint
Yeah,
this
I would
whole
doubt
room.
Yeah,
they'll
so,
fix this and
yeah.
that.
yeah, and we
he's
need
gonna-
to touch up some other
Yeah, and
areas.
so he gave a quote for the hallways, the bathroom in this
Yeah.
room, and it won't take him that long,
Yeah,
cause
and
he's already done it.
and we'd have him lined up soon
Yeah.
as, so it could
Yeah.
happen quick.
And I have the cleaners here to do an extra clean, cause it's supposed to be like dusty in here, and, you know, all this equipment, I think we're gonna try to put somewhere so they won't get dirty. You know, it's just a lot of work if they are all filthy with this powder. or
That
what
just,
have you.
that comes out of the community
Yeah, we have that community building improvements,
improvement, yeah,
and that's where we paid to have this room cleaned up, and,
yeah.
you know, the trick is to keep up with it,
Yeah.
so,
No, need a motion, right?
yeah.
I make a motion that we hire Matt Nunn to come in and paint the kitchen floor and in the hallway and the bathroom after the work is done,
What was the cost?
$1,500. And,
Second.
okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, good, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
They're renting the kitchen, are they want to use the stoves?
Well, the one has no gas, so they have to use the electric one.
Yeah,
Hot water is electric.
yes,
I was gonna say, that propane tank isn't there.
yeah.
Hey, what's the next one here? Review, adopt, select board rules and procedures.
Okay, so I gave those
We gave you
to,
last week.
gave them to you last week. This is the original one, and here's the one that, with the changes, and then here's another one that's responsibilities.
We need to change the time, right?
I changed the day and the time, cause it used to be Thursdays at, 6, so I changed, updated it with Wednesdays at 5.
I really like this 5 o'clock already.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't know if you guys saw anything in there you wanted to update. The only thing that we saw was 2 of the spots about where we post didn't include the town office, so we were just gonna add that.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, me too.
Let me see a copy of it. I just looked at the planning commission ones, might as well.
So that might be the original one.
Oh, this is the original and this is the updated?
yeah.
Yeah.
But you only made like slight
Yeah,
changes,
just
right?
those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
then there's the other one that is just a one page. It's, previous select board had done select board responsibilities and stuff, so I figured I had to update that as well, because it's, didn't have Wednesday on there.
So I make a motion that we approve the rules of procedure for the select board. And in this new procedure, 2 things changed. We moved the meeting to 5 o'clock from 6, and
Thursday to Wednesday, the time, and then just
Yeah.
adding those 2 posting spots.
yep, 2 posting spots. You so move,
I'll second.
okay. All in favor?
All right,
Aye. Okay. Probably need to read this. All right, thanks again, Lisa and Carrie. All right, Harold, you're up.
Okay, I had my meeting with the state this week, every
I need
regular
Larry's
yearly
other page too.
financial update meeting with the state. And every year we gotta sign paperwork. That's saying that we've adopted the standards that we did back in 2020. We gotta sign it every year.
Saying that we are still in those standards?
Yeah, basically. You would think it would just carry over until they update them or something.
Yeah.
By all three of us, or?
What's it called, highway standards?
It's a certificate of compliance with town road and bridge standards.
Carol, was that the one I got the email on too? Find it, and send it to you. It's something that you do every year.
Yeah, so I have to give all the select board information, you two information, my information, they have all like numbers and
Okay.
emails and, so they do they take a copy of the town report, do a financial report, because we gotta, this ratios that we gotta meet to get state aid. So this is part of it, next meeting I should have the financial part for you guys to sign.
Good.
And the only other thing I got, and I don't think I have to ask this, I'd like to start hauling my winter sand for next year. And it's in the budget, but I like to get the select board's blessing to start hauling it. You know, I need a motion or anything, just,
You got my blessing.
yeah.
Yeah, not the time to do it, I'm not doing it now, yes.
It's good to get it, I mean, we started doing it back during COVID when we couldn't be together. And it works good to get it done out of the way. You know, last year after the flood, if we had to haul sand, it's a week and a half to haul it. It's,
Yeah. What, how much did we use this one compared to others?
a lot of it,
A lot of it, yeah.
but we didn't run out, so that's good.
Yeah, it's also gold, huh? Well, of course, it's pretty close, but not always fun getting it in the middle of the winter.
Right, you pay more in the middle of winter.
Yeah, yeah, no, sounds good.
But, yeah, let's get it up.
That'll be after you get the grader back together.
Yeah, we got some other service and stuff to do too, but
Yeah.
it's nice to get out of the shop once in a while.
I got one question
Didn't do it.
to the highway department. I mean, is the bridge getting redacked this year, or no? It's not.
We don't have money enough to do it.
We don't.
Powder spray?
I was looking at my budget, and I don't think we got enough to cover our share of it.
So,
So I'm gonna put it off for a year.
Yeah.
Next year I'll get a grant
that'll help.
that'll help.
Yeah. I mean, what's it cost to do something like that? Couple $100,000 or?
I'm guessing it's gonna be close to that.
So, we were just talking about the wall.
Yeah.
That plan for the Gateway Park, they went outside of everything, and they were like, that whole sidewalk section and all through there, they don't like. And they routed off all sorts of grants to improve things through there. And some of them are like bigger, probably highway department grants that you've applied for before. Like better streets and better places and better connections and.
Yeah, I mainly just do the state ones,
Yeah, these were state
were they?
transportation ones.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would help at all to look into, and we were looking at that wall, where we were talking about the wall in front of the church, and then the sidewalk there, and the plan writers for the parks that they didn't like the intersection, the Flag Street. So I haven't looked at the grants yet,
Yeah.
but
No, the wall we gotta do something about.
I think that's what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah, it'd be great if we could keep the grant too, it'd be too bad to,
I mean, it's gonna take probably have to have it engineered, right, to do that, or?
but we would have to anyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
those grants all include engineering, like planning, and plotting. And
no, I
whatever
think
else.
the townspeople or a lot of them would like to see the grant instead.
Yeah, oh, granite, yeah, I think it's granite.
No, you know, that probably came out locally years ago. It's probably quite.
It's little.
No, I just didn't know if you'd ever pursued doing anything with the wall. No. But you notice it, you see what's happening.
It's been fixed a couple times.
Yeah.
And really, it's the granite walls on Main Street too. Those are,
Oh, crooked.
are some of them falling off.
No, it goes back to you can't expect the townspeople to keep all their property up if we don't keep ours up. Lead by example. Sidewalks, walls caving in, sidewalks. Enough for one pedestrian, because, you know, I mean, that didn't happen yesterday, that's happened over years, and.
I mean,
but
the
to-
tough part, I mean, technically, the sidewalks probably aren't even legally wide enough.
Yeah,
You know, to state, you know, what the standards are.
well, then there must be some help from someone if you got
Probably
it.
is.
Right? They're gonna mandate it. I don't know, I mean, everybody keeps putting stuff off and off and off, and then we got this town that, you know, is going the opposite way than it should. Is how I feel, you know, you keep kicking stuff down the road, it's, you know, we put a plan together, and yeah, it's probably gonna cost us some money as taxpayers, but for us that live here and that are gonna be here till the end, I want it looking as good as it can, is my feeling.
I agree.
But I'll be disappointed 10 years from now that we're still talking about fixing a stone wall, a wall on Powder Spring Road, and somebody gets hurt. Then it will, you know, some people don't think that's a big deal, but I think it is. Just so everybody knows how I feel about certain stuff. We put money here and there. I mean, it's like the ball fields. That's a passion of mine. Those ball fields were given to the town. It's our responsibility to keep them looking good. And that might mean put more money into them some years, or get the drainage issue fixed up at Puffer Field. You know, instead of just dabbling at it. That's gonna keep kids in our community, gonna keep people, I mean, we're a dying town if we can't get younger generation to stay here. I mean,
Well, I think you have a perfect example of kicking things down the road. You've got the application for a person to come help with the assessing, and we wanna kick it down the road.
no, we
Certain
don't,
people don't.
I don't
Certain
want
people-
to, yeah,
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, that's the philosophy
yeah,
that I'm seeing. Let's kick it down the road, and we've kicked it down the road for 2.5
Yeah.
years. So the same thing with stone wall, you keep kicking it, you won't have to kick it.
yeah.
It'll be out in the middle of the house.
It's pretty much a fact that it's never gonna cost less by kicking it down the road. You know, so anyways, my little side bet, not,
I'll add to it, I mean, that SE group plan, their pedestrian study was like, oh boy, like, don't wanna be a walker in this town. They didn't think it was very welcoming to get to Powder Spring Road on the rail bed. The whole point of, in our grant application, a big part of our project was to get people from the campgrounds riding on the rail bed and then say, hey, here's the town. Let me go to the library, get Wi-Fi, restaurant if it ever opens, or dispensary. And they're like, no one's ever gonna ride down Powder Spring Road because it doesn't look inviting, I guess. But their maps of the town transportation sidewalk study was just red, needs work, replace, do this.
You've got a very narrow road, you feel like the bike and 2 vehicles are coming and passing. There's not much room there for anyone to go anywhere.
Yeah, they didn't like the bridge either.
No, the bridge is a bridge.
That's a tough one too. because
They must have a lot of money for us, then.
There's cost estimates you don't wanna know. I could look at, they prepared cost estimates and some of them are,
Astronomical.
we don't want people to see them. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
Yeah. Food for thought. Thank you, Harold. Unless you got anything else?
Oh, yeah.
No, thank you for what you do. Good winter. You guys did a good job all winter.
Everything held together well. I mean,
Yeah.
considering.
Yeah, no,
Don't count it over yet.
that's okay.
There's one more item.
He hasn't taken the wing off yet.
I was
off the
thinking, I only
truck,
have
so-
one road I could judge you off of, and that's Lakeside Drive.
And that's, they really nice this
It's a
year.
beautiful road. It's always perfect. There's never mud. It's just like,
Yeah. All right. Treasurer?
Well, I gave you budgets. I couldn't remember if I gave you budgets last time, but there's budgets for you to review. I've already talked about, Alliance, his contract, and, I've been working with the auditors, sending them all their work that they need. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Carrie?
I gave you a copy of the local emergency management plan. That's the one that says by June 1st at the top, not the one you're looking at.
here it is.
So I know we don't like kicking it down the road, like we just said. So, and it takes some time and it has to be approved at a meeting. So they have a new form this year. Other years, you know, you have the same one, you put new people's information, it's kind of straightforward. Well, they changed it up this year, so I went through, put stuff in, you know, from the old one, you know, updated the different things. So you guys need to look at it, read it, and see if it all makes sense. I'm gonna send it to Brent, and Philip is part of it. And everyone needs to kind of put their 2 cents in, and then we adopt it. They moved it to, I think it used to be May 1st, and now it's June 1st because of the changes. There's also, I need to talk to Brent about this NIMS adoption. I don't know, do you know anything about that? No.
What was it sent to you?
National Incident
Oh.
Management System.
Yeah, probably needs to just take a course and to sign something. I would think.
So we adopted it in 2009, and I don't know if it needs to, in my time doing it, we've never like re-adopted it. So I don't know if we just leave it as 2009, or it's not like a big deal to, it's literally right here and just needs to be, if it makes sense. It's been some time since it was adopted.
What's it called again?
National Incident Management System.
So the other thing is, like Mike just said, somebody who's taken one of those courses has to sign it. This other sheet I have here that I didn't give you guys. Have you taken it?
Yeah. But I'm not the person that's gonna sign this because it would be our incident commander that would sign it. So it was an acting or
No, usually it was a select board member,
we just select it.
because Tristan had taken it, I think, at some point, so he was the one who signed it.
Yeah, I'll look at my certificates and see if,
You see, I'll send you this, because it lists on this sheet, names of the classes, 2 classes. 'Cause I looked them up to try to see if it was just a quick webinar that I could even just take and call it good to sign, but I couldn't find enough on it.
I've taken a bunch of NIMS classes, but I don't know if any of these are.
And then Larry would sign this bottom part here, because it has to be one of you, select board chair, but it's gonna be that other one that we need. So Tristan used to sign both, because he took that class when he was in fire, I think, part of the fire department. So, yes, we have some time, but we also need to keep plugging away on it
Good.
and have it checked by everyone involved.
We could maybe go over at the meeting that we don't have reports.
Yeah.
Can you put it on the agenda for the meeting we don't have reports?
Yep,
Is that the meeting we're interviewing or meeting?
yeah. And then-
Yeah, but we still should have time. That shouldn't
Yeah.
take that
Yeah.
long.
And if you review it and jot down notes or things that you think should change, then, you know, that is helpful too.
Can you,
Yep.
did you email that to us? Or
I can.
you can, you,
Well, I'll
yeah.
email, do you want me to email what I pre-filled?
Yeah,
I
Okay.
think so, and when was the last one? Last year?
Yeah, every year we gotta do it between town meeting and,
Maybe it's off.
There's one for you.
Oh, you have one for me?
Yeah.
yeah, I printed
Well,
one.
I don't
for
need
you.
an email though. I'm gonna print it anyway, I can't read on the screen.
No, I printed one for you too.
I like her printing everything myself.
I always print it.
So that's that, and then FEMA had another meeting today, it's pretty much is winding down. Everything's been obligated, other than the roads, which is the biggest chunk, but that was the last one to get done. So it's in the next step, so that should be obligated soon. So with the figures that they have for the federal share, not counting Pound Road Bridge, because that's gonna be done separately in a way, we should get back 209,000. So, and then Vermont eventually will kick in another chunk. And the cost of material was 196, I think, 196,000, so we will get that back. Everything that we basically took out of the fund balance,
Yeah,
we'll get back, and then some,
yeah.
because of Vermont's portion.
Well, how's Vermont figure their portion?
It's
Percentage of what we,
12%, because we're at the second level
You have to have,
after, we have to have
and this plan,
hazard
what's the other one?
mitigation one,
All
which we
hazard
do.
mitigation plan.
And
And
the
something else,
the
flood
ro-
insurance, right?
No, it might be the thing Harold just did, the roads and bridges one or something. A minor one, that one's the one that's,
The highest percent is 10%, right? I think,
No.
or is it 7.5?
it's 7 is the lowest, and
Well-
we bumped to 12 by doing the all hazard one
Yeah,
last year. We missed it,
the year before.
we missed it on the 2023 flood, because 2020, we approved it in August, we had the flood in July, which wasn't very much money, so now we're on. And I actually, NVDA, the Allison Lowe, I saw that in some report, and I emailed her, and I said, Groton should be at this next level, and she emailed the people, and they adjusted it.
Yeah, I was on that email chain.
Yeah, so.
Then we tried to find the plan.
It's 12, I think it's 12%, so after FEMA pays the 75,
The state pitches in
state pitches in,
12.5, right?
Yeah,
And then we pay
12.5.
12.5.
so, it's great. So we'll have all that money, hopefully, the one fella thought 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, that's on the two that were obligated already, so that's the smaller amount, but then this last, the roads ones is 150,000 alone. I'm sorry, yes, 153, so that one might be later, but, so that part's good. Send my hours is the last thing, and then we have a, I forget what they call it, the last meeting to tie it all up and finish it, so.
Close out or something.
Yeah, so that's good. I also have I got an email from Mike Welch, the planning committee is doing a grant to do the town plan. So he has a form, I left it with you, might be what you were looking at there. So this needs to get done tonight, so it can be submitted, since we don't have another meeting by March 31st. So it can be submitted for them to apply for this, basically it is applying for the grant.
Yeah. We probably need a motion
Yes.
from you just to apply, and I can't vote or sign this. I'm recused as planning commission chair. But we are working with NVDA, and we put this in the budget as well.
Yeah,
For-
the town's portion's in the budget, and
Yeah.
then the grant will be,
For the town portion, NVDA would be our consultant. They would help us rewrite the town plan. We looked into writing it ourselves, and there's so many new updates and things from the state that we just kind of felt a little over our head. And we did a really good job. It wasn't like we could just copy the old town plan and be like, oh, we haven't done all this stuff. We've done almost 50, 75% of what the goals are done. So coming up with the new goals and,
The
and
new
really.
plans are hard because the state's changing the rules every other day, so it's hard to keep up with them, where NVDA is on it. every
Yeah.
day.
They're writing these for other towns. We used this same grant to write our old town plan, or the one we're working
So
on.
basically, you need a motion just to approve you applying for the grant.
I think so. We might have gotten that already, but we might as well do it again, and then and then have you guys sign
Sign
that
it.
afterwards.
All right, so moved.
all in favor?
All right,
Aye.
The only thing we don't have is just an estimate, but we put in, I think, $800 in our budget.
Yeah.
So we were assuming it was gonna be about $8,000 total, cost.
So Mike, you'll sign the front page, number
Yep.
2, and then put the select board down. It might require one of you coming in and doing some work on the computer when we get to the portal, but
Oh, when we put the application in?
yeah, because one of them has to be this top
The
one.
submitter, or,
Official, authorizing official.
Yeah.
the other thing, NVDA did tell us it's very competitive. They think there's a lot of applicants this year. But we'll put together a compelling case for us to be funded.
So, Mike's not gonna sign that, that's fine, but where's that extra sheet to certify that we're in good standing? I think I left that with you. Unless it's hooked here. No, it's hooked here, Larry already signed it.
Beat you to it?
So that's good. So that was just another form that they needed to self-certify.
Did I need to sign?
You need to sign this one up here. You're signing just as planning commission chair.
Man of many hats.
Oh, sorry, got the paperclip with me, thank you. Okay, so I will get that off to Mike Welch in the morning, and I think that covered those requests. The only other thing I have is just another reminder about dogs. We have about 11 days until the fee goes up, and we're on tag number 80 and have 300 dogs, so just my plug. And they can drop it off, and even if I'm not here in the night drop, and I'll mail them back their tag and license. So, and the fee did go up from the state. $12 for a fixed dog and $16 for not fixed. And that will go up to 18 and 24 on April 2nd, so. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Dan, you're up.
Hello. Well, in keeping with the theme of not kicking things down the road, I spoke with the chairman of the planning commission last evening. I plan on having someone to come in as assistant zoning administrator in October. I've got a couple names, I'm working on a couple people. They would work with me for 6 months, and then I would be done in March at the end of my term. I think it's important that we have someone that works with me for a while to understand what they need to do and how they need to do it. The town's currently involved in at least 2 lawsuits in regards to zoning. To say I'm not a big fan of NEMRIC would be an understatement. They've had more issues and errors than anything you could imagine, and caused more problems than you could imagine. So I'm not a big fan of NEMRIC. The other thing, dog complaints are coming in. There have been a lot of dog complaints lately. Can't wait till we start getting the people that are not going to register their dogs. Right now the complaints are dogs barking, dogs not staying home, verbal issue complaints and things. So it's been pretty busy.
And that starts once the winters seem to be pretty quiet, or?
The winter, we had complaints, but it was very staggered.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot. Now, the dogs are feeling frisky, it's spring.
Yeah.
And people are feeling frisky, and it's the same folks every year.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be able to write tickets this year, that's going to change a little bit.
When I was doing the trail count at Little Italy Road, it was almost the same amount of people as just random dogs walking by.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot, I was
Yes.
surprised.
Yeah, I had an incident today where a dog backed me down, and it could have ended ugly, but the dog came to the end of the chain before it got ugly. And I was going to serve papers on a complaint. Happened to be a pit bull cross.
Is that it?
That's it.
I had one comment. I'm driving home from planning commission last night. I thought about your request, the October, starting an assistant October. My concern is, I think it's a great idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. But did you get zoning permits in October through March?
We get permits
Fair enough.
basically every month.
Yeah.
There are different types of permits, but in October, normally people are getting ready for the following year.
Yeah.
You know, as I said, my concern is that I don't want to wait till March to get done and have somebody step into this and not have a clue. Carrie is wonderful in helping me and keeping me on top of things, and she needs that support too from the other
Yeah,
side.
it's gonna take a unique person, someone, you know, Dan is great about, as soon as I let him know something, he takes care of it. I mean, I guess if we're talking zoning, you know, the same thing, permit comes in, you know, and he goes out, meets with the people, so this person would have to be comfortable going on to people's property, talking with people, knowing the rules of the setbacks and the floodplains and all those different rules, and being able to, I think what Dan and I talked about, being able to say no to somebody,
Right.
and, you know, or, you know, tell them that it's not gonna work here, but if you did it here, you know, it can't just be where you just approve every zoning permit that comes in without going and checking and doing, and that's why we do have some, from years ago, mistakes, that stuff like that maybe didn't happen as well that we're dealing with now. So it's not just the easy job that someone does from their living room, it's really got to be somebody ready to go and get it taken care of and see it in person and not be timid about going out to someone's property and really have a conversation and get something figured out.
And with the updated training that we're getting through NVDA and through Vermont League of Cities and Towns and things, Act 250 rules are changing by the minute. As Mike and I found out last night through the flu acquisition, Act 181, which we took training on, that is going to be huge in the future. So, I mean, it's going to take someone, they're going to have to go into it, but you need to find the right fit. And I think given that amount of time, that it would be the right fit. So what I would do is approach the planning commission with the individual, ask them to bring it to the select board to be appointed, and then you would actually appoint that person. At that point, my feeling is that I would give up half of the salary that I get to do the zoning, give it to this person to go with me and do these things and learn these things. That way it wouldn't be an extra cost to the town, it'd be a benefit to the town. They would be ready to step in, and I think, once again, it would be seamless, and it's not kicking the can down the road
Yeah,
until you're in trouble.
Yeah, and then you've got 3 people, well, Mike's familiar with it, but,
Yes,
you know, I appreciate you stepping up and telling us this, that you're, because you know, well, you and Carrie know who you need.
Right.
Or
right, and
what
and
that
was-
person has to be. And
that's the third thing. It has to be someone that will work and interface well with Carrie,
yes,
because she's integral to the overall part of this planning and zoning, the whole function of it. She handles a lot of the paperwork, she sends a lot of the letters, she does all the recording, so there's a lot of it on her. So the person that takes this position has to be able to work well with Carrie.
yes.
So,
Nope.
yeah, there's a lot of criteria that I'm trying to sort through when I'm looking for those people.
Yeah, have you got,
I've got an idea of 2
You've
different
got a
people.
list.
One of them I'm real reticent about because, as Carrie said, I think this person would be good right up until the point of if they had to say no. So I'm kind of backing off that one a little bit.
so who's next in line to say no? Who could help that person, see? I mean,
Well, ultimately, it's on the zoning
it's on
administrator.
the zoning
So
administrator.
he has to have.
He has to have that.
To say, no, you can't do this. You may have to do it over here.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
you know.
And be confident in what he knows to be able to say it.
Yeah,
Right, because, and the bad thing about it is, if it happens once that they're like that, every single person that puts in a permit knows that person's wishy-washy, and they're not gonna conform.
yeah. Well, sounds good, Dan.
I agree.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure they get enough permits through,
Well,
but it sounds like
if we
that's.
found the right person next week, we would get them
Oh, we would
started.
do it next week if I could convince the right person, if we
Yeah.
found it. And I told Carrie that for her to be on the lookout to hire someone like this guy. that came in, if someone were looking to be a zoning administrator, absolutely do it. I'm not gonna go to special executive session, anything, else, do it. Just get it done and get us so that we're seamlessly going forward.
Right.
That's the important thing to me, is with you, I want the town to continue going along smoothly. Obviously, I'll continue to be involved with the 2 existing lawsuits that are going on now. Because they happened on, the suits happened on my watch, so
Is that it?
that's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Dan. All right, ongoing grants, any updates? Only one we got, well, the MERP and,
Yeah, I sent, the info for what we spent on FEMA to Dennis Casey, so they can request that money ahead of time by saying we have a hardship, so he's working on that, he said.
yeah, good.
So they can give us money and then we can spend it without having to come up with the money on our own.
I have some grant updates. Vorek, so Blue Mountain Excavations they were contracted to do $129,000 worth of work on the rail bed by November last year. I talked to them to just see if the quotes could carry over to this year. Our grant, we extended it to June 30th. Talked to them, sent them a couple emails just back and forth with the quotes they sent. They agreed to the same pricing and to do it by June 1st. So Lisa, we're probably gonna work up new contracts that probably give them to June 15th, just in case, to get the work done. So that was really good news. We're probably going with the same mix of stay mat and gravel, I think. Do you have any problem with that?
What's that? Sorry.
Blue Mountain, we have the option. Our original quote was just gravel for the rail bed, and they were kind of pushing us towards going with the stay mat and gravel mix that they were proposed after last summer.
Why would you go with a mix?
I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking you. I don't want to get them
For the bot, go with stay mat.
go with stay mat altogether. Why is the gravel more expensive?
When you start mixing it, you're losing the integrity of the stay mat,
Okay.
in my opinion.
I'll have to talk to
Yeah,
him.
it sound opposite though.
I thought, well, last summer prices were crazy, so I think the when we lost the gravel, it was like, well, we can put stay mat in, but it's actually, the price was too high. So you think just go stay mat? I'm afraid to ask and then have them change the quotes. It's quoted as a mix right now.
So
I do-
what's the choice, a mix or just gravel?
I just said, can you do what you quoted us last summer, and sent the revised quotes that he sent us back to him, and he said, yeah, we can do that.
Is that quote, does that include where they're gonna tear out the tiles, the culverts? He's not gonna do that and have them tear it out.
Culverts are all done.
On Little Italy?
Oh.
No,
Not
that
in
doesn't.
Little-
Oh no,
No, they're not doing that, I don't think.
they're where the bridge is, or I don't know.
Where the big culverts are on
I
Little,
mean-
Okay.
2 sets of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that road, but the ones that are through the rail bed, yeah, they're gonna go right over the top of that. I mean,
But that could be,
That's not gonna,
that's
I mean,
not just happening, that could be.
it might save-
like,
yeah, at
might
least
save
a
you from
year,
having to
but
fill that
probably
hole in
all-
after like a thunderstorm in July. But
Permit from the state on flow rates.
Well, yeah,
um,
that's,
Because the water apparently, the estimations that they gave us for the flow rates doesn't coincide with what the state says it has to have in order for that 4-inch trout to get up the brook.
I've seen a lot of
serious.
emails lately on it, but
I'm being serious here, that's what I was told.
There's no reason to worry about them going over the top, because that thing might not happen for years.
yeah.
I mean, you're talking,
20 feet of,
yeah,
it's not gonna be like, to put flags out, don't do this section.
Yeah, that's
Just do it, like, and if they move it, I mean, if we're, I can't imagine those are gonna get replaced, but I guess.
They're the only set of culverts in this town that have gone through 7 floods and haven't washed out. And we're gonna take them out?
well, that fish can't get up through
I
there.
know, that's exactly what I ran into.
There's
But where are all them fish coming? They're in that hole between the rail
I
bed
don't
and.
even know where all the fish are coming.
Do I have any others?
finishes, then signs go in. These are done by Cross Vermont Trail Association, so it's like their wayfinding signs. And we're gonna be putting business signs up too, so point to where businesses are. I'm debating just calling the businesses by their names because I don't know what else to. I don't. Yeah, that's what they were saying to put symbols up. I'm like, I'm not putting symbols up. I'm like, what am I gonna put for the dispensary?
Right.
So I'm like, Sonny's, like Arrow, you figure out what it is when you get there, and Upper Valley Grill is just Upper Valley Grill General Store. I think Cross Vermont Trail was gonna do those signs, but I said I kind of wanted Groton to have like a personalized touch on them, and so if another business opens up, we could buy a sign. Yeah. So that's one of the big purposes of this project is to, drive economic opportunities and economic development through having outdoor recreation in your town. So the other idea was to get a generic restaurant sign for when hopefully a restaurant opens. And I'm gonna do that, and then if we could decide later if we want to personalize it or whatever. But so they're gonna be doing. There's a couple questions for Harold about road signs, but I'll work with them. And that's it.
Okay,
Do you have
do you have another?
I have one thing, Dan. Dan, should we talk about this?
Oh, boy.
I mean, I think everyone's gonna agree with what we were thinking.
I would hope
So-
so, but I'm not sure.
This is the planning commission. Last night, the planning commission, NVDA came, and they've changed the village center designation. You don't have to apply for it, you don't have to get approved. And basically, NVDA can just put on the map where certain requirements are met, where our village center is. And they sort of were proposing this last night.
And it's odd because they said that the proposal was based on soil density for septic systems,
We don't really need to see the rest of the map.
but
This is our current, that outline is our current village, designated village center. That, you get tax breaks and things if you're gonna do some improvements, or it helps us with grants, and that possibly was a factor in VORAC.
So where is it now?
Well, it's,
From here.
they've
to the church.
yeah, it's
proposed.
from here down below the
We had
church.
asked for it to go all the way up to the housing on the left up here. And they said, no, can't go up there. It has to stop where here, the church or the
Because that
community?
won't support septic systems, is what they told us. I don't know what they're doing with the systems now.
It was some weird thing. We asked for it to be a little bit bigger than what they approved.
So they included all of most of Powder Spring, half of Railroad Street, Park Street, which, that's not,
You
so,
can't even build
so
out
our
there.
idea is to keep this and try to extend this up more like we said.
Yeah, we were thinking,
Staying on 302?
yeah,
Yes.
keep
Yeah,
allowing
that's
this
the town
extension
center.
on this side, and then this is just not where the town center is. I mean,
So it makes very little sense
the
to
way our
me.
zoning is written, you can build out there. It's
Yes,
not like,
right, and that's the other thing, with flu coming, which is future land use, a lot of these areas that are designated, you're not gonna be able to build on.
or you have to jump through a couple hoops.
Act 250 is gonna kick in immediately, and they're going to, every time you go to the next step, you have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Every time you go to the next step, there's a new set of rules and regulations that you have to go through as far as wastewater, well water. which I'm taking
Setbacks, river
training on,
corridor.
Setbacks, river corridors, so it's,
Makes more sense to keep it in this area.
that's right.
I said
that's right.
extend this. Now, the benefit of the pink is not only just grants, right? It's also Act 250 exemption, right? Or
Some of it.
for like
Some of it
housing
is.
up to 50 units,
Up to 50
which
units.
we don't have a wastewater treatment system
But
to
we don't
deal
have
with
the
that.
area to do 50 units in this whole area.
Yeah. Well, we didn't agree to anything. We said we'll bring it to the select board. We'll discuss it at a future meeting. But since I saw the map sitting right there, I said, why don't we just look at it now?
Yeah.
I think our thought is going to be this extended pink here, allow that to be the village center, and then say none of
Keep
that.
that out of it.
Yeah,
Do they wanna just include the other side of the river because of the Vork and all that?
I'm not sure. it's
We
funny.
didn't really have a good
Here's
answer
the-
to that.
It was basically based on.
Well, it goes down to Mill Street, so our wall will be in it, right?
It was soils and
We need a
existing
grant.
density, right? Something like that.
It's soil density and the fact that you couldn't put in septic systems in areas where there's already septic systems, which made no sense whatsoever.
That didn't really make sense.
So, but once again, it's going to this Future Land Use Act 181 and the different tiers. And it's,
And our,
the more we regulate, the worse it's gonna be, which is normal.
The future land use, so.
They call it FLU, F-L-U,
Yeah.
Future Land Use, and it's a game changer. It's a game changer for Act 250, it's a game changer for the town. The different tiers are very specific, and each act kicks in a different tier. So you know, yeah.
so I don't know, is that a planning commission decision to make? I mean, they basically presented on this side of the road what we had presented to the state and said we wanted to be our village center, and then the state cut it down to that little outline.
Of what it is now.
Yeah, so we were against, I think, we didn't vote on it, but our discussion seemed to be gearing towards just expanding this side and,
Yeah, no, yeah, that's never been,
yeah.
well, maybe way back
Other
when,
than then, what about them getting credits, someone ever
It
wanted?
has to be commercial properties
Okay.
or mixed use, and there's none of that over
There's
there.
none of that on that side.
Yeah.
no,
And
that's.
someone could still subdivide over there and build a neighborhood, you know, it's not a, I mean, there's no room, but someone still,
There is no room for
technically could.
subdivision in there, and under the new rules, you know, you don't have enough room for the new, as they said last night, anything more than 5 homes, you have to have a centralized, system for your waste and centralized system for your water. And then you have to have a huge leach field beyond that, which we really don't have the
Space for.
space there.
So I know when we did the village center designation, we came to the select board and said, we want to apply for this, it's in our town plan, we vote on it, you know, we voted, we submitted, I think you might have submitted the paperwork, but this seems like something,
This
We-
caught us all off guard.
yeah, what did they give us till June 1st or 30th or
Yeah,
something to?
yeah.
And what's the advantage of even going any further on 302?
I'm not sure. I mean, it just basically adds, like if it comes up to this building, right, and we just do some improvements on this building, it might be an advantage for us because it's in that village center zone.
This
I have,
building's included,
does it stop here now?
yeah.
It goes beyond.
Beyond here.
Oh, I thought it went to the church.
No,
That
it's
church.
here.
Yeah, I thought it went to that
That
church.
The other end.
No, the Baptist church.
The Baptist church to up here.
I'm not 100% on that one down there, but it definitely included
I
this.
think it includes that one. The benefit would be if, you know, someone were to buy one of those houses, I guess, and put a home
But
office
commercial.
in it. I don't know. Yeah. Is it village center? Is that village zoning?
The only advantage would be, say, for the pancake house, if someone bought the pancake house and turned it into a restaurant again, they'd get their breaks.
It really, it's like we have an opportunity to expand it.
It's a lot of fluff with very little substance. is
Yeah.
what it is.
So what's the disadvantage of expanding even across the bridge?
It
The-
infringes on my right.
Other than that
The
one?
disadvantage is there's really no advantage. I mean,
No, I know, I'm just curious though, what
I
are
think
they
it's-
trying to say is?
it's counter our zoning regulations too.
Yes,
I- It's just it was like they just put it on a map and they were like, you guys wanna do this? And we were like,
No,
what?
that's it.
That's what happened last night, and we were like, well, we're not gonna just make a decision on this without,
We wanted more input.
yeah.
So it would help Clark's Landing for none of that, or the block, nothing there. That's not considered commercial then. or
Well, yeah, I mean, if it extended over
It
there.
might
If it
now it's
extended
just-
over there.
It might help the rail depot, it's historic, there is historic credits. Granite sheds, I mean,
Once again, I
they're-
don't want to do anything more for the person who, that's just me.
it's something
We'll just kick it down the road. a little
where
bit.
the planning
Well, it
commission,
doesn't, it's, yeah,
Take it down the road until I'm out there.
until the June 1st passes and we'd have to.
now, what is your thought on what are we gonna apply for grants in that area? To-
We are, not
that-
in
Yeah,
area.
no, but in the area that we designated now, who are we gonna,
Well, we're already designated.
yeah,
If someone bought
did
Brown's Bistro, let's say, right, and they were like, oh, I really want to improve this, or that building next to it,
Or actually Nikki's in.
Yes.
yeah, so
Zambo could
she
benefit
could,
from that.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
Sonny's probably could have benefited.
And it would help
too.
get the village,
No,
Main Street looking better,
That's the
yeah,
point.
that's the
That's the
point.
purpose. So they
Yeah.
spend, if they're gonna spend money to spruce it up, they can get tax credits for a portion of what they spent
The
back.
bistro, if it ever does anything.
Yeah,
right, these two would be.
now, was it in place for the dispensary, or did they,
It was in.
Yeah,
place.
Yeah, we've had
We've
it.
had it since
But it wasn't.
2020.
I'm
Yeah.
They
not-
have to
Use it.
apply, they have to
they didn't,
apply.
they have to
It's
apply,
nothing with the town, it's
Yeah.
not like a
Yeah.
tax break with us,
No.
it's on
So-
here.
so they could've maybe,
We should have notified new businesses.
yeah,
They
Yeah.
might have applied on their own.
Yeah.
yeah, no, okay, I could just get,
It's hard to remember all these little benefits of this and that, but I don't I mean, like,
I didn't see.
we weren't planning on changing anything.
yeah, no,
If anything, I guess we could look a little closer at the map and see if there makes any sense to go further out. You know.
yeah.
I
Anyway,
don't see any commercial projects going farther, towards South Riding.
No.
There's no.
There's nowhere to do it.
and we had also asked about putting like another village center down that way, but they were like, oh, only one in this area. Either way.
All right. Follow-up, appointed positions,
I'm still getting.
Still getting them
letters,
back.
So I don't think it's fair to review it yet, there's still a
Good.
few I'm waiting for.
Last night, a couple of the planning commissioners said they hadn't gotten theirs yet, so they're still going out, I
I didn't
guess.
send them any because
Oh.
you
were
haven't told me
finding
the
out on what their
dates
dates were.
in the
We haven't
years.
figured out, we have to negotiate amongst ourselves who gets
Okay.
what dates.
I
I already
haven't-
established my term is expiring this year. And Terrence was,
Yeah.
or no, yeah, we only determined mine.
That's it.
So
All right, well, let me
I'm,
know and I can send letters, but I don't know.
we have to come, then we thought about changing our rules of procedure to just be a 1 year too. We didn't come to any decision. It
Okay.
was the end of our meeting, we were getting cranky,
Okay.
so.
okay, I guess I skipped over the open to the public, but,
I just had one thing, somebody
Yeah.
brought it to my attention that, above the bathrooms, there's, the stink pipe. I guess it's falling, it's bent and it's falling, so that could cause a problem. So I was told that a plumber would have to get up there and either
Fix it.
re-glue it or whatever, so.
Is it
just wanna
PVC?
ask your permission to ask, Aiken Plumbing, I don't know who else to call. That's who helps us, so
Yeah.
I will if you want me to.
I'm fine with it.
yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to
Where's
fix
Aiken
myself.
Plumbing out of?
He lives in Corinth, I think?
Brent? Oh, yeah. He's done work for.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one that comes, so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right. Sign the orders, items for next meeting.
These are for you.
We gotta add,
Do that,
This-
Justin.
Justin Mason's coming
Yep.
to tell us a little bit about himself.
You want me to put a possible executive session?
Yeah, it can't hurt, at least have it on there in case we need it.
Okay.
Do we take the assessor position off the website? Well, I guess not yet.
Um,
And then the LEMP, Local Emergency Management Plan, said we would touch base on at least.
yeah,
Mike can see if
I'm
you,
gonna look and see, I have a bunch of NIMS
Oh, yeah.
certificates.
I mean, that, if you read, I think we can just adopt it. It's signing this other sheet that you need to have one of those,
I'll take a look, can I take this?
yeah.
It's signed by Larry, but I'll take a look and just,
Mr. Chairman, I had a brain creep. I have two other things. One of them, is there any possible way that we can get the assessor to have set hours?
guess we could, and that is because,
Because a lot of the people that try to get a hold of her can't get a hold of her. And I never know when she's in, so if I get a call and I need to forward that person to her, I never know when she's here or not here. This has been an ongoing problem since I took over as zoning administrator. The second thing is, I can't remember if it was a year and a half or a year ago, we appropriated money, the select board did, to make sure that NEMRIC updated our listing, the pictures on there, the information on there. We were told it could be done twice a year. We appropriated money to have it done. It's never been done. And I think it's 2 years now, isn't it, Carrie?
I think it was last year, we put the money in, and then again this year.
So 2 years, and we still haven't got an update.
Do they invoice us for it, or
What's that?
do they invoice us for it, or they're just not doing it?
I don't even.
I think
it was
last
left-
year they weren't, I think she's asked this year, I guess we should ask her when she's here.
I forgot all about it.
I mean, we didn't pay anything yet. They haven't done any of it yet.
No,
Right.
nothing.
Yeah, so we carried the money into this.
So you took and paid me to take pictures
Well, yeah.
of all those
Lose
houses.
it last year and raise it again.
Yeah,
So I went out and took pictures of all these houses, assuming that they would be updated on NEMRIC so they could look and see the carbon things. Nothing's been done. I've brought several things to Dorothy's attention on different things that need to be fixed, on assessments and things, and it doesn't get updated, it doesn't get changed. It's very frustrating. So we need to have some sort of deal with NEMRICS to get them on the ball.
yeah. I mean, we definitely look into it. No, I mean, I don't know how long she's been doing this, and she's never had set hours.
No,
That
no.
position's probably never had set
No,
hours.
and you don't know when she's gonna be here, when she's
But-
not gonna be here.
Well, some of the problem is if she works Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which she lots of times in the past has, nobody can get in here. It's locked.
Yeah.
So even if it were like one day, Dan?
If it was just one day, just set
That was
hours
set.
that one
Yeah.
day, I could be able to tell the people, okay, this is who you need to get ahold
Oh,
of.
this
She's
day.
gonna be here this time.
Okay,
Because right now, I never know.
yeah, okay. I don't see a problem with that,
No.
asking about that.
Yeah.
I mean, one day would be a tremendous benefit.
No, we will definitely figure something out there. Seems pretty simple, if it's just, we just request one day.
Nothing is simple, you know that. Nothing is simple.
Well, I'd like to think so.
One thing.
I like your optimism.
Yeah. Gotta be positive. All right. So, I guess I make a motion that we adjourn. Okay, all in favor?